as far as my feet will carry me. Impressive real life story, which is overwhelming. Incredible, but then when something like that happens, I see a film with a plot, a subject that doesn't add up. Come on, is this possible? Two things we can say. One, Trump. I don't believe this is happening. Has happened, is happening. God forbid, may happen again next year. They may elect him again. Comedy is. You can't have someone like that take 70 or more million votes, and in the greatest democracy. Furthermore, so the other idea, notion, comes from the Holy Scripture, the film, cinema. Adventures in the Screenplay. William Goldman, author of the screenplay for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and All the President's Men, among others, but both of these have won the Oscar for screenplay and others. So Goldman is a twice winner of the Oscar for his work. So he, among so many wonderful things you can find there, one would be, by the way, you should read the book, but you can look for him on YouTube. Stop this nonsense here and look for William Goldman, and you have some interviews in, for lack of a better choice, the book. You can hear him say some things. Paul Newman, for instance, Clint Eastwood, the only two actors that don't have that needy attitude he knows of, and so on. So he says in his masterpiece that there are things that happen in real life and are incredible. You put the situation with the Queen, let's cut this short if we can. The Queen that has some stranger in her bedroom one night. How is that possible? The guy just passed all the security in this castle. If you put that on the screen, for good reason, Goldman says, the audience would stand up and walk out of the theater. Because you don't, well, there are things like what happened to this man. They seem incredible, but they really happen. So he gives his name as Clemens Borel, but we understand that it was a alias because he was afraid of consequence. Something like that. His real name is different. He's a prisoner in a Soviet. It's laughter, but it's really with that kind of gruesome graveyard humor, because let's think what the Russians do now in Ukraine. Putin and his assassination with mini nuclear bomb, plutonium in London, and Novichok in Salisbury, and Novichok and Navalny, who is, by the way, going to be in prison for as long as Putin is there, unless he dies. They put him in solitary, they don't give him food. Anyway, So vicious. Not the only ones. Let's not. I mean, that's some of the few comments on this blog, or maybe just one would attack this idea that with the Russians or Soviets or communism, which is good for some. No, it wasn't here in so many places. Well, think North Korea. We had communism, so. And by the way, I mean Newsweek, which once was a big thing, a big publication before the internet. That's true. So in 1989, I took part in the revolution here, and I mentioned in Newsweek, and I'm proud of that. Probably the best thing I've done. For all the flaws, small, minuscule, but then I went there in the square, while others, tens of thousands, didn't do anything, but then got the rewards, the certificate, and the benefits and property. And I didn't. I regret that once in a while, like now, on video, because I say I did it. Didn't go there because it was so shameful. So many crooks asking for that, and then this with the crooks. But then I wasn't a crook, so why not? Anyway, have at least a large studio and a big audience, because there would be some incentive or something. Let's come back to our man. So he escapes, which is incredibly difficult. He has the help of a doctor. He nearly dies so many times, of course. He loses his way, he's frozen terminal to death, then he's lucky and gets a seal, poor animal. But then he can put his foot, which fell into the ice. I mean, we have ice all over the place there. And then as I said, the dead animal, he saves himself through that prey. And there's so much more. He spoiler alert, he reaches, I don't know what the Sami would be in, I think in Finland, in the Nordic countries, up there in the north, those who work with, eat reindeer, live in the cold, and he has a relationship with the woman there, but then he has to go because the authorities, KGB, whatever this foe he has, sort of Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive, hunting down Harrison Ford. He's held by a Jew at one point, and there is this tension and confrontation to some extent. Like, why do you help me? Why? You ask because I'm a Jew and you're a Jew. And then they discussed it. I didn't know. Not everybody knew. So incredible, as I said at the beginning. It's and worth seeing, because to see a human being so resilient, so determined, so driven is at times exhilarating. Look what we can do, not us. What would be the proportion? Only 1 in 10,000, 100,000 would escape. I mean, would succeed. Our hero is 1 in 100,000. I don't know. a million. The rest would just perish or abandon or say, okay, I'm finished, I'm through. Will I stay here? I don't know. And for the Germans, there's what was that, the Milgram experiment? Explained in the classic Influence by Robert Cialdini. One of the 6 principles of influence is respect for authority, so that explains in part what happened there and what happens in our lives in many circumstances.